नमस्ते गेमर्स, द लेजी गेमर्स नेपालको MLBB कम्युनिटी हो। हिरो स्टोरीज, मोन्टाज क्लिप्स र टुर्नामेन्ट अपडेट्सको लागि जोइन हुनुहोस्।
Welcome to today's explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining me because today we're exploring a truly fascinating story straight from the Cadia Riverlands. You know, a lot of times when we hear these grand tales of legendary warriors, we're introduced to heroes who are just born knowing exactly who they are, right? They're these individuals blessed with innate genius and this completely unavoidable destiny. But our subject for today's explainer, Zilong, he was definitely not one of those people. His story isn't about instant superiority or effortless brilliance. Actually, it's about a warrior defined by something much quieter, yet infinitely more powerful. Just relentless, unbreakable persistence.
Okay, let's dive into this. What happens when a student chooses the wrong weapon and absolutely refuses to put it down? I really want you to hold on to this question as we move through today's explainer. We are looking at a person who actively chose a difficult, incredibly lonely path. In a world that demanded one specific thing, he stubbornly chose another. Why would someone do that? And more importantly, what kind of person does that ultimately forge you into?
So, Section 1, The Lost Child, a peaceful life disrupted.
Before all the epic battles, before the legendary weapons, Zilong was simply a kid. He was just wandering the Cadia Riverlands with his father, who was a craftsman, and his loving mother. But from that really peaceful childhood, we move abruptly to a total disaster. A sudden, tragic accident separated young Zilong from his parents entirely. I mean, take a second to really think about what that means. For a child, separation isn't just about missing your parents. It completely strips you of your identity. Home, direction, the very answer to the question, where do I even belong? The whole shebang just vanishes. He was totally adrift. But eventually, he found a strange new refuge when he was taken in by the Tianyin Sword Sect.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Section 2, Path of the Spear, Choosing the Hard Way.
So Zilong is now part of an institution entirely devoted to the mastery of the traditional sword, the Jian. Literally everything about this place, from its deeply rooted traditions to its daily routines, was built entirely around swordsmanship. Progress here meant learning these advanced, beautiful sword techniques. But Zilong made a choice that instantly made him an outsider. He chose the spear. As the quote goes, while others advanced through complex sword techniques, he returned to the same basic movements. Imagine being in a school where everyone around you is perfecting these elegant, increasingly complicated sword dances, and there you are holding a long spear, just doing the absolute basics. He was unusual, he was incredibly stubborn, but he flat out refused to pick up a sword.
This is exactly what Zilong's life looked like, day after day, in almost total isolation. Thrust, parry, shuttle, repeat. Thrust, parry, shuttle, repeat. Just over and over and over again. It wasn't flashy in the slightest. It definitely wasn't gaining him any applause or recognition from the swordmasters around him, but you see, this repetition represents a really visceral daily discipline. To Zilong, doing the same thing wasn't a sign of failure or a lack of imagination. To him, the repetition was the path itself. And this brings us right to the core of his character, discipline. It's a repeated decision to continue practicing, even when your entire environment favors something else. This is absolutely crucial to understanding Zilong. At this point in his life, his spear wasn't some grand symbol of destiny. He didn't have a crystal ball. He didn't know he was going to be a legend. His spear was simply a daily act of pure discipline. He didn't need a crowd to validate him. He didn't need the environment to approve of him. He forged his own path, entirely in the quiet. But a journey like that, it eventually attracts attention. Section 3, Discipline Against Talent. The arrival at the Dragon Altar.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how perfectly it sets up the contrast. Zilong's isolated training was interrupted when a powerful figure named Baxia brought him to the Dragon Altar. Suddenly, he's not just practicing for himself anymore. He's being drawn toward these ancient regional duties. And he's not training alone anymore either. He's sparring alongside Ling. And Ling represents literally everything Zilong is not: natural talent, graceful speed, and effortless brilliance. Ling moves like the wind. Zilong, on the right side here, is defined by slow growth, persistent endurance, and stubborn repetition. It was the ultimate clash of innate gift versus hard-earned grit. Of course, that underdog status came with a really heavy price. Zilong faced repeated defeats against Ling in sparring, over and over again. But he never stopped training, and he absolutely never allowed someone else's natural talent to define his own limits. constant defeat didn't break his spirit. Actually, it served as a profound catalyst. Because while Ling's talent was obvious for everyone to see, Zilong was building this quiet, unshakable strength in places where nobody could even measure it. This right here is the core truth of Zilong's character. He can lose today without accepting that he must lose forever. I really want you to think about how that applies to your own life, right? How easy is it to just walk away when someone else is naturally better than you right from the start? Zilong teaches us a beautiful universal truth through his actions. Slow, stubborn endurance has the capacity to outlast effortless brilliance, as long as you refuse to equate a loss today with a permanent state of failure.
Which brings us to the climax of our explainer, Section 4, The Cloud Dragon Awakens, the Black Dragon Seal Incident.
Everything Zilong had built in the shadows was about to be put to the ultimate test. Tensions at the Dragon Altar finally reached a breaking point. Ling, who was desperately seeking power, touched the forbidden Black Dragon Seal. Baxia, representing the Old Guard, aggressively confronted him. Things were about to get incredibly violent, and in a desperate moment, Zilong physically stepped between his mentor and his greatest rival. He absolutely refused to just stand by and watch the people he respected destroy one another.
So, the crucial point is, the power of the Cloud Dragon answered. In that exact moment of desperate intervention, drawing upon literally all those years of silent, stubborn repetition, Zilong struck out with his spear. And it wasn't just a basic thrust anymore. It was a singular, overwhelming strike completely infused with the ancient power of the Cloud Dragon. That one single strike contained enough force to completely stop the clash between Baxia and Ling. His true power, which had been hidden for so long, was finally revealed.
I absolutely love this quote. Destiny may have opened a door, but Zilong had spent his entire life becoming the person capable of walking through it. This is so vital for us to grasp. The awakening of the Cloud Dragon didn't magically erase all of Zilong's past struggles. It didn't erase his repeated defeats against Ling, and it definitely didn't make his years of boring repetition meaningless. Actually, quite the opposite. It gave those thousands of lonely, unseen repetitions their ultimate meaning. He was ready for destiny precisely because he had prepared for it when absolutely no one was watching.
Which leads us to Section 5, Guardian of the Altar, the Spear of Dragon.
With his power revealed, Zilong ascended. He inherited the legendary Great Dragon Spear and officially became the guardian of the Dragon Altar, taking his place as one of the Oriental fighters. The boy who had lost his home had finally found his ultimate place in the world. But let's clarify what this role actually means. A guardian is one who is driven not by fame or the need to be unbeatable, but by the quiet duty to be endlessly reliable. This is exactly why Zilong is perfect for this role. He doesn't seek personal glory, he doesn't need people telling him he's the best. He just possesses the humble, unbreakable responsibility to stand exactly where his homeland needs him to stand, day after day.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core takeaways from our time together today. First, mastery is often really boring before it becomes legendary. People see the awesome power of the dragon. They don't see the thousands of basic spear thrusts that came first. Second, a reliable guardian will always outlast a temporarily spectacular warrior. Endurance beats a flash in the pan every single time. And finally, Zilong's spear is just a perfect symbol for his life. It represents distance, precision, and above all, lifelong commitment. True power is for sure built in the shadows.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Destiny chose Zilong in the end, yes, but discipline chose him every single day leading up to that moment. It's such a powerful reminder that our futures aren't just magically handed to us. They are built, brick by brick, by our daily habits. So I have to ask you, what daily discipline is shaping your destiny right now? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating story with me today. Keep learning, keep pushing forward, and I'll see you in the next explainer.